MJF was next for his promo, and Wardlow continues to dress up and looks like something. MJF mentioned the 4 pillars of the company, AEW: Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and himself, the new young stars that are going to carry the company 10 and 20 years forward. And of course, his point is he deserves, MJF does, to be the AEW World Champion. He mentioned that he has Bruce Pritchard on speed dial. And I can only think that he will probably never use that number, but he's using it as a ploy to get heat. But MJF would probably want to go to the WWF right now about like I want to go to the dentist and get a root canal.
And if he's been around Bruce, he realizes that he'll never want to talk to Bruce.
Well, only if Bruce is trying to get him on board so he can sell some advertising. But anyway, nevertheless, I know Bruce's phone number by heart. I had his number as soon as he walked in the door. Anyway, so Darby Allin's music plays, and he comes out, and they do the face-to-face, and MJF cuts the promo on him. And then Darby actually verbally fired up at him a bit and had some bass in his voice. And I thought, okay, now Darby's not going to be the sullen, non-speaking, mumble-mouthed, blah, like Jungle Boy, like all the young guys, like everybody under 25 years old in this world apparently is now, just a mealy-mouthed nitwit. He's firing up at MJF. They're going to get in a fucking Donnybrook here. So MJF tells Darby Allin straight to his face, I know why you're straight edge. You're straight edge because you rode in a car with your drunk uncle who got in a car crash and the wrong guy died. And this, by the way, is true. Apparently, Darby Allin has said that the reason why he doesn't do any drugs or drink is because he was at a car wreck with his drunk uncle driving and the uncle got killed. MJF says that to Darby Allin. And was Darby Allin's response, fuck you, bam? Or fuck you, pow? Or fuck you, kicking the nuts? Or fuck you, slapping the face? Or any of the other responses that you would naturally do if somebody said that to you? No. Darby Allin looked at MJF, who just said the wrong guy died when your drunk uncle crashed the car. He said, go ahead. Say everything. You got some more to say? You're not going to break me mentally. What the and the MJF just looks at him and says, what the fuck? And they leave. And that was flatter than 4 o'clock. When did the baby faces start being such gutless, ballless cowards? It was 2 weeks ago MJF said to Pillman, your mother should have swallowed you. And that didn't instantly provoke a fight. And now he says to Darby Allin, yeah, fuck your uncle. Darby Allin says, you're not going to break me mentally? I mean, it may work for the AEW fans that don't think that people punch other people in the face. But if a babyface in any era of wrestling in any location had taken a talking to like that and just said, oh, keep going. You're not going to bother me. That would have been the death of him. Nobody'd ever believe in him again. Why would this guy say, you're not going to break me mentally? You're just going to stand there and talk about me and my family like a piece of shit, and I'm going to do nothing about it. Was that what you saw?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, part of Darby's character is that he reacts weirdly to things, and he's a weird guy. And they explained a little bit of his background here. I wasn't familiar with his background before this, other than his that show where he ran away from the woman he was sleeping with because the bugs were trying to get him, whatever that was.
Sex sent me to the ER.
That's what it was.
That was a work. We found out that was a work. He didn't actually have sex.
I like a lot of this, but to me it goes back to something we talked about with the Punk debut promo, where simplicity is the best. And I think this could have been streamlined a bit to get to him pissing off Darby and Darby hitting the ring. Whether Darby should have hit him or not, I don't know. I mean, MJF and Wardlow hatched a little plan quickly and left, and we don't know where Sting is, so we'll see what happens there. But I don't know. I like the idea of MJF feuding with Darby, but it could have been streamlined. I guess that's the big thing.
Well, I would have gone with what they did and been fine with it, except these gutless baby faces. And when MJF then was shocked that he didn't provoke a fight and left the ring, I didn't understand that reaction, because if I tell some sorry sack of shit that I'm cussing out, yeah, and fuck your dead uncle, and he doesn't do anything, well, then I'm going straight. And your father sold secrets to the Nazis in World War II, and your grandmother sucked dicks for dimes in dive bars. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to stay there, because obviously this guy's scared of me and is not going to fight.
Have you ever seen someone? I've seen it happen a few times. I've seen it happen in baseball. A couple of the catchers, I think Yadier Molina, it happened to. Have you ever seen a guy when they really get upset because you say something about their family or their mother? Like how they react? Like when the person who really does get mad, they lose their shit.
Yeah.
I've seen it in person. I've seen it happen to people. We never see that here. Pillman Jr. wants to high five people, and Darby's gonna brood no matter what. Darby's gonna brood.
But I've seen responses when people say the wrong things to people in the wrong particular day. I've been involved in some of those responses. I stand with the Harris boys in Barberville, Kentucky one night. We're watching the matches from the end of the bleachers, right? And this fucking teenage guy, I don't know how, he was 16, 17 years old, whatever, some redneck from fucking Corbin, comes all the way to the end of the bleachers where nobody was to stick his head down near me. He was up on the bleachers and we're standing on the floor, so he stuck his head down over no, not over the rail, but near the rail on the end of the bleachers and said, "Hey, Cornette, you suck." Now, what he didn't know was I'd had a real rough drive up there, and it wasn't the best house, and I hadn't had a lot of rest, and I was in a grumpy mood. So when he said, "Hey, Cornette, you suck," I just reached up instantly and grabbed him around the fucking neck. And because my hand was grabbing him around the neck through the fucking bars of the railing on the end of the bleachers, he couldn't pull me through the fucking bars to get away. And I couldn't get him through the bars, but I wasn't letting go of his neck. And I had my fucking fingertips around each side of his goozle pipe. So I said, "Would you care to rescind that goddamn statement?" And he's, yes. And then I let him go. And then he scurried on off. When you say shit to people to their face that they're not going to like, and you know they're not going to like it, then you need to be prepared for them to fucking snatch you around your goozle pipe. But none of these baby faces do that these days.
I do want to say, though, the prospects of Darby versus MJF is something I'm excited about.
Yes, I think that'll be a good match and a good way to, again, to elevate Darby. Just got finished with Punk. Now he's good with MJF, but of course, obviously MJF needs to go over because he's a single main event waiting to happen whenever they figure that out. Anyway, we have come to the main event on this program. And so far, except for the 22-man tag match in your squeaky chair, things haven't been too bad.